Hello everyone, this is the sensational NUSensei, and let's get right into the news. So in our last live stream about 24 hours ago, we had the breaking news that the World Archery Federation has banned LeoLeo Archery. So LeoLeo Archery is a Chinese manufacturer based in Hong Kong. And on the 29th of May, that is yesterday or 2 days ago, we saw a statement from World Archery banning everything that has anything to do with LeoLeo Archery from any World Archery event. That includes people, representatives, and equipment. So LeoLeo Archery is persona non grata. So that was the breaking news. So there's been a bit of back and forward between all the parties involved. I've managed to find a bit more information about the background of LeoLeo Archery. I want to preface this by saying this is not a fact-checked or a factual information live stream. I'm going to share with you what I found so far, as well as look at the current situation. I think we've got a better picture as to what is happening. Again, I'm not claiming to be a completely unbiased commentator. I'm just looking at what I have. But for those of you who are looking at the drama right now, get your popcorn and your sodas. For mine here, this is of course today's archery juice. I might need more than one, but I've only got one today, so hopefully this is sufficient. Alright, let's hope this doesn't explode on me today. That'd be kind of awkward. So let's see if I still have the magic touch. It's been a while since I had one of these. Hello to everyone in chat today. We've got some interesting things happening. Some of this you may know is old news. Some of it might be completely new. This is all new to me. But nonetheless, it should be quite interesting. Alright, 1, 2, 3. And I knew that would happen. And I'm going to thankfully didn't get too much on my keyboard or my camera. So that's Ramune for you. Of course that's going to happen. I didn't expect any less. I probably should have done it elsewhere, not on my keyboard. But that wasn't too bad. So for those who are tuning in, you just watch me explode some white foamy liquid all over my desk. So just give me a moment, guys. We're going to, I guess, have a commercial break while I get cleaned up. Thankfully, I came prepared. I mean, this was like the appeal back then. And thankfully, it shouldn't be too sticky. Yep, I said that live on camera. It's just like Dark Side Feel archery version. There we go. Whoa. Alright. I'll clean the rest up a bit later. But we'll see how we go. Let me just chuck this first. Commercial break. Alright, I should be back very shortly, guys. Do apologise. Just to go with the whole theme of, you know, not being demonetized. I've got a big wet spot on my pants right now. And I am wearing pants. So, whoops, it's been a while since I last had Ramune. But we seem to have avoided a lot of damage. The camera's fine, of course. So, I hope you enjoyed the commercial break. We are not exactly sponsored by Ramune, but we had a bit of fun there. So, after we've dealt with that exploding scene, I think I'm back. I've changed my jacket, by the way. Got the other Assassin's Creed jacket on today. Okay, so that shouldn't be too bad. Of course, have some explosive news to report. So let's try that one again. So that's our official archery juice for today. Got some plain Ramune. Tastes like carbonated nothing. I don't know why people love Ramune, but no, it has some nostalgia value. It was much cooler when I was a kid. Alright, so, how are we all today? So, here we go. Welcome to the chat. We have a few things to report. So, the summary of the event up to this point. For those who haven't seen my last live stream, that was yesterday. So, the news is World Archery, that is the World Archery Federation, announced through a statement that it has banned LeoLeo Archery from all World Archery events. The rationale is that the company LeoLeo Archery, that's a Chinese manufacturer, they have been accused of counterfeiting. That's generally something which World Archery is making a stance against. Organizations like the ATA are making a strong stance against counterfeit manufacturers, and there are several Chinese brands which have been accused. In the past, it has been Junsing and Toe Point, and LeoLeo is now the latest blacklist victim. But what we discovered yesterday is that it isn't just the counterfeiting which was the cause, because like I said before, it's not usual for international sporting bodies to take a stand against commercial companies. So there has to be something extra, not just, we want to support the community. So we have some allegations that LeoLeo Archery has been using a fake World Archery email account to communicate and impersonate World Archery staff, and there's more to it. So let us, some sticky like Ramuna everywhere now, let us examine some of the evidence today. So I want to start with a bit of background. So I'm going to show you, let's have a look here. I'm going to show you the catalog. So LeoLeo Archery doesn't manufacture bows or bow equipment. LeoLeo Archery, they manufacture arrows, mostly arrows and arrow components. They don't actually manufacture bows. Despite the website having a bow section, they don't manufacture bows. Half the website is dysfunctional, which there's a lot of unprofessionalism on the part of LeoLeo. And there's more to this as we go along. This will be a long stream, by the way, so stay tuned and grab a drink. Alright, so let's switch over to the first document. So this is the World Archery, so this is the Leo Archery 2015 arrow catalog. So let's have a look at this. So let's go through it. This is the catalog on slide view. You can easily Google this. So LeoLeo, registered trademark, was founded in 1990 by World Grand Asia Pacific Limited and Jian Easton Composite Materials Co. Limited, located in Hong Kong. I want to make a big point about Easton Composite Materials a little bit later. Since 2003, formally entered the World Archery Equipment research and production industry. At present, the company has set up R&D center in US. Meanwhile, with a standardized production factory, LeoLeo owns 6 sets CNC precision Swiss type lathe and the world's most advanced set of arrow shaft production lines. LeoLeo Archery offer kit to adults re-equipped compound bow to use various arrows, reliable product quality, all raw materials from Japan's Mitsubishi Chemical and South Korea SK Chemical Group. Present, LeoLeo Archery offers lots of archery equipment for US and European, Asia, South America, and more other countries worldwide. The development goal of the company is to be one of the top manufacturers in world archery industry in the next 10 years. And this is obviously a lot of English or Chinglish. So this is very typical Chinese translations, okay? So, we can go through very quick. That's a logo, which I'll comment on a bit later, and have a whole list of things. Now, this is one of the things which is probably one of the big causes of problems at World Archery. So, in 2015, you can see that LeoLeo Archery is using World Archery branding. In this case, this is an arrow wrap generator. Now, for some reason, it's upside down. I'm not sure which website they got this from. I'm pretty sure this is not their own image. This is probably a wrap. It might be custom arrow wraps or something. A lot of the arrow wrap companies will generate image like this. So you upload the image of the thing you want, and then it goes around the wrap and it generate the fletch on top. And you have a website which has been artificially put on. This is like this is where you would normally put the archer's name. I know because I've been through this process already. I've ordered my own custom wraps. And so you put your name here, and then you have your custom image. This, I'm pretty sure they've just uploaded they've created or used the World Archery banner, because this is a terrible arrow, and there's more terrible images, but this is really not. This is going to be the first of many of the World Archery branding logos we'll see. We'll skim through the rest. They've got really badly organized images. Not sure if slide view messed this up, but this can't be just slide view. This is the original slideshow. We've got excess wings over here, so I don't know why they include these things. I guess it's part of the packages which they can order. You've got various arrows, an upside down chart. Look at this. You've got like all this branding everywhere. This is what you would get from a Chinese company. It's just the typical things. And you have the Leo Pro 10, which has been since changed to. I mean, there's a Pro 10, and they made a Nano 10 later on as well. And that's a part of the copyright problems we'll see later on. These images are reused everywhere. It's the same photo used by LeoLeo for all their promotional materials. There's like 3 of them, and that's basically it. We'll talk through the rest, and that's basically it. So that's the catalog. Not particularly impressive. So why am I making a point about the catalog? Well, one of the things that we saw earlier was the use of the Easton brand name. So the first thing we'll note is from what someone told me in the comments in the last video. I'm just checking my table for moisture. One thing that was commented was that apparently LeoLeo was one of the contracted manufacturers for Easton arrows. So Easton arrows are generally manufactured in USA, but some components are manufactured overseas. So I think LeoLeo was one of the companies which received the Easton archery machinery and so on. I can't verify this. I don't know for sure. But that partnership with Easton has been perhaps one of the reasons why LeoLeo is using Easton branding. Now, whether or not this is part of the arrangement or whether this is something the company has done on its own volition, that's something I'm not sure about. Well, what I can say is that, as Byron Cook has mentioned, it's sketchy as F. This doesn't look right. Now, this first part is kind of circumstantial. The most obvious one is the name of the manufacturing company, okay? If we go back to our document, the first thing you see is that this branding and the company is started by World Grand Asia and Jian Easton Composite Materials Company Limited. Corporation or whatever. Jian Easton Composite. Why on earth would this be called Jian Easton? Easton, they've said this is a branch. I've been told this is a branch of the Easton Manufacturing Company, so this could be legitimate. Okay, now I'm not saying I don't know the background of this, but this could be legitimate. But if you pay attention to the logo, this is an Easton style logo. All right, the font is very similar. There's no italics, but the same font. And if you compare that to the actual Easton logo, which you'll find over here, you'll find it uses the same concave diamond. Okay, it's the same font. The E is italicized. So you have the concave diamond. You also have the flame design, and that is derived from the Easton antler diamond. So the diamond shape is Easton, the flames are not, but the antlers are. So there is already a very clear similarity between these brands. So, what is the background here? Is this because they are ripping off from Easton and therefore taking all their brand names, the X10s, the Nano 10s, and so on? And that's a Carbon Express, I think, as well. So we've got the Carbon Nanos, the Carbon Express Nanos, and the Easton X10s. You now have the LeoLeo Nano 10 and the Nano 10 Pro Tour. These are names which are typically brand names from Easton. So is that one of the causes here? Are they actually ripping off Easton? Or is this a relic from an actual partnership, an actual branch which Easton started or owned? I don't know the corporate background of this story, so I can't comment further. But that is there. It is circumstantial right now. But that is something worth noting is, does this company have a history of falsely claiming to be affiliated with certain organizations? And the reason why I mention this is because the current drama or the current controversy that is happening involves a lot of strange claims, to say the least. So, we'll fast forward to what happened yesterday. So, like I said, World Archery announced on their website that they are banning LeoLeo Archery. And of course, this statement, which is posted on the website and shared on social media, has been shared on the LeoLeo social media and websites, as well as other companies which are supporting WA. And one of them is Biter. Now, the history of this conflict extends way back. So, Biter produces a lot of accessories like clickers and knocks and plungers and so on. And they one of the controversies which happened a few years ago was that Biter, from what I understand, outsourced their knocks to LeoLeo. So they manufactured LeoLeo, Biter knocks. And at some point, LeoLeo manufactured their own knocks, which were basically rip-offs, counterfeit Biter knocks. Now, the stories presented by different people will point out that the Biter patent expired and therefore LeoLeo can make their own version, or like it wasn't the same or something. So I'm not sure the exact history of this, but what is known is that Biter did not agree with LeoLeo Archery's production of their knocks. There was a huge controversy in the production of these knocks, and that's been very sour since. And I believe at some point LeoLeo tried to have a go at the Biter company itself. So it's kind of bite in the hand that fed you sort of thing. So that was the controversy in the background. Now, of course, Biter is one of those companies which does support World Archery. So if we go over to Biter's current Facebook page, there is a post which thanks World Archery for the support. Now, I've had it open since like 3 hours ago, so I'm trying to track down if there's any more changes here. So let's have a quick look, because you will see somebody who's going to become an interesting character in the next few links. I've got it ready here. So this is from the Biter webpage. Here we go, or the Facebook page. So Biter, as a proud partner, would like to thank World Archery for this clear statement. Intellectual property is one of the most important goods in the industry and therefore for the sport. Biter products are exclusively made in Germany, and that's the link to the statement there. And of course, Biter is an associate of World Archery. So, the interesting thing here is this character, John Williams. Very American name, isn't it? John Williams. John Williams is not who you think he is. John Williams, if you go to his Facebook page, is the CEO at LeoLeo Sporting. You can see that his username is LeoLeo Archery John Williams. Now, another person, look at like Leo Sporting, see here, there are several things here too, right? Now, LeoLeo Sporting is not LeoLeo Archery. LeoLeo Sporting is the retail side. They buy from all the major manufacturers and they sell. So this is the online store, the sporting goods side. LeoLeo Archery is what manufactures and sells the archery side specifically. So basically, all the people involved in this from the LeoLeo side are treating all these sub-brands as one and the same, even though they're technically different companies. But this is really ambiguous. Now, LeoLeo Sporting have most of the employees, which are publicly listed, and the two of them are John Williams and Mike Williams. And Mike Williams is also called LeoLeo Archery Mike Williams. And both of them, all the pages are flying. These are mirror pages. Everything you see has been duplicated twice, okay? So we'll see these guys a bit later, especially John. Now, back to the post. So Biter have posted here, and John Williams, who it definitely is not a native English speaker, has said, "The World Archery has done unethical things for money and corruption. You pay legal costs for your actions." Again, this happens a lot. Again, LeoLeo Sporting Goods, as a distributor and dealers in the world, if you get fake or copy goods from us, please share details. Please do not defrauding the public. Losing the soul, God must punish them. If you can make sense of that, then you're doing pretty well. This is, okay, like I said, this is typical Chinese translation. So, obviously, the response to this has been pretty negative. So, Biter is responding directly as a company. It seems you did not get the point. And John Williams, please give the public the real fact. Let's go back and forward here. By John Williams again. Biter, the law will not forgive anyone who tells lies in organizations. And John Williams says, I am local American, now live in Salt Lake. Well, that is obviously not an American thing here. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure how to read this, because I have to read these comments. This is not native English. I'm not sure what accent this would be proper. It's a Chinese guy. It has to be a Chinese guy. But it doesn't sound right in Chinese either, right? So let's imagine. For some reason, I imagine this as Russian. I don't know why. It's like, I am local American, now live in Salt Lake. Yeah. Duh. I mean, if it's Chinglish or Asian, it'd be like, I local American, now live in Salt Lake, which is not what he writes here. So there's some ambiguity. But it isn't about accents. It's like, yeah, great Biter. Yes, great Biter. I can't do the accent. It just doesn't match what he's writing here. Here we go. Please publish real and legal remarks. We order a large number of brand products from SSA, JVD, Carbon Express every year. Please send information to them for evidence collection. I'll eventually get this right, guys, alright? And by the way, I do excuse the Asian accent. In case you haven't figured, I am Asian, so I can't pull the accent off. This isn't intentionally racist. But this is how I actually do the accent when I have to do so. So I speak the good English. I teach English to you good every day. I can do this, legitimately. So, back to the accents, or back to the posting rather. So, John Williams links to LeoLeo Sporting Goods, which is not LeoLeo Archery, but the same company, same umbrella thing. Okay, and Biter makes a nice little burn here. Maybe all these companies should consider to stop selling products to you. Ouch, well done. And John Williams bites back at Biter. Biter, please, thanks God. The law tells the truth back. Malicious competition has no result. Your inappropriate comments can only show your incompetence. Respect is actually a basic quality of an enterprise. And John Williams says, the law will not forgive anyone who tells lies. Wow. Okay, we're getting places here, right? So, we have a very strange thing going on here. Yeah, sometimes too much fun with Google Translate, I agree. So, interesting. Yeah, Americans say, hey, yo, I'm local, yeah. Americans will say, will probably ask for, like, the nearest, like, you know, McDonald's or, like, the find oil somewhere. So, this is not very American. So, what do we know about John. I'm going to close a few posts just to clean this up. So, let's go firstly to Mike. Okay, so there was Mike and there was John. Let's look at Mike first. Mike Williams and John Williams. Those were the two team members listed for LeoLeo Sporting. So let's first look at Mike Williams. I'll mention this post later from LeoLeo Archery, but they're basically mirroring everything. So we said, interestingly, by the way, that he's in Salt Lake City in Utah. And Mike Williams is in Hong Kong. So obviously he must be an American citizen living somewhere else. But here we go. Well, I'll talk this a bit later, but this is Mike Williams' most recent post, apart from sharing LeoLeo's statement, which I'll talk through later. So, Mike Williams said, "Hello everyone, I am Mike Williams," which links to himself, by the way, interestingly enough. You never do this in a Facebook post. "As a US citizen, I have made every effort to remind World Archery and did not use commercial means to suppress brands, LeoLeo Archery. Do we really need people to make mistakes in donation and sponsorship? If it is such a world, it will lose any just actions and justice. Number 1. Please use the normal form of justice to show the people of the world wrong events. Number 2. We will further use US law to maintain our brand, and also Hong Kong, China is just our co-production maker. Number 3, if we use the Sino-US trade war against us, then it is very funny." Interesting post here. LeoLeo Sporting. It's liked by Liang Shenwu. I mentioned these people later, right? I'm checking who likes this because there's a little web here. So that seems to be all that's really important. This is just LeoLeo propaganda, okay? That's fairly normal here. Okay, who's liking this stuff, right? You find, there's a lot of people who like, and not only are either employees of LeoLeo or they are sponsored archers, and they're just liking these things non-stop. Okay, what's over here? Yeah, right. LeoLeo Archery likes this. This is Linker likes this from Team Meteorology. It's interesting. I mean, awards are awards, which is nice too. So there are quite a few things here, but we'll leave Mike alone for now. Let's go to John. So John has the same thing copied from LeoLeo Archery, but what we see here is something a bit more interesting. So John Williams, as the quote-unquote CEO of LeoLeo, has a bit more to say. So John, just because LeoLeo, not a member of the World Archery, but as official agencies issued misleading information to deceive consumers and the public. How ignorant World Archery. The law will not forgive anyone, an organization who tells lies. Please give the public the real fact. I've seen it before, haven't we? The World Archery has done unethical things for money and corruption. You pay legal costs for your actions. Again, LeoLeo Sporting Goods as a distributor and dealers in the world. If you get fake or copy goods from us, please share details. Please do not defraud the public. Losing the soul, God must punish them. And here we get the interesting part. Again, yesterday. Behind corruption is often driven by benefit. Leo only didn't sponsor the World Archery Association, but we sponsored many individuals and countries in need to help them participate in the World Archery Cup and World Archery Championships. Corruption really hinders the normal development of the sports industry. One organized and deceived with not any ability. Please hire the world's top lawyers, then find out the truth and give the public a fair chance. And this is where things get really interesting. Now, they have actually shared a series of emails, screenshots of emails, from World Archery. And who's liking this? I'm not going to mention this person yet because I think it's too relevant. So let's check the email. Now, this is only part of the emails. This is received yesterday as well as from 2016. So there are bits and pieces cut out. Of course, as people snip parts from emails, and as you can see, this is the reply. You can see the sidebar show a series of chain letters extending back to 2016. There's only 2 photos here, or 2 screenshots. So the original screenshot, at least the first one, shows this. This is from Mr. Thomas Albert, the marketing service coordinator. And as far as I know, this is a legit email. I do work with some people. I do collaborate with some World Archery staff, and the format is pretty much this. So it says this. regarding sponsorship and donation of World Archery. I believe this would have been the email from LeoLeo, not to LeoLeo, because it's the same syntax as the other posting. Okay, so subject for form submission from contact. So the idea is this. I'll explain the email. So, dear sir, thank you for your inquiry. I'm sending you enclosed to that email our sponsorship package for 2016. You are free to choose from any level of sponsorship and add as many options as you want to the contract. Also, I noticed when visiting your website that you are using World Archery logo, which is totally forbidden without World Archery's approval. If you have any question about the document, please feel free to contact me directly. Best regards, Thomas. So that's that. The fact that they have included this is kind of bizarre, because you would normally hide this stuff. Like, this actually gives you away as a fraud. Now, my understanding of this, and I don't know World Archery's sponsorship contracts. I'm sure you can find out for the official website. But the way sponsorship works for most organizations is that you have different tiers or different packages. Let's say, for example, you have a gold. I mean, for those who do Patreon, you notice how it works. You have like different reward levels, right? So let's say, as an example, I am running the New Archery organization, right? Or the New Archery Federation. Let's say I need sponsorships from manufacturers and corporations, and I need to give them some incentives, okay? So I need millions of dollars to run the first New Archery Federation World Championships. Awesome. That's awesome. So, what I need is millions of dollars. So I'm going to set up different tiers of sponsorship. So you can have the bronze tier, the silver tier, and the gold tier, or the bronze pack, silver pack, and gold pack. Now, it might be that for the bronze pack, you will pay, let's say, the company will pay $100,000. And for that, you will be listed on the official sponsors. You will be put on the background of all the champion podiums. You'll be mentioned on our website, and so on. So there are some, like, lip service things, but for a small, well, for a very large fee, but small for a corporation. And let's say the next level, the silver package, will be that we will use your equipment for our broadcast. So we will use your if Philips decides to sponsor the New Archery Federation World Championships, then that I will use Philips microphones or speakers or something, and so on. All right, so, and then maybe the top tier will be that we will exclusively use your official arrows or your official targets for our tournament. Okay, so that's basically how it works. So the more higher you go, the more the corporation pays, but the more exposure and benefits they get, and that includes things like tickets, sponsorship seating, advertising, that sort of thing. That's how sponsorships work. So, and I guess the idea of World Archery is that they have this package where they send out a general email to anyone who's interested in becoming a sponsor for World Archery. And they give a package catalog out, and you pick what you want. It's very clear, and then there might be additional options. You might pay for like things we wouldn't normally get for that tier, but you would then therefore pay for it, and you get additional service. So this first email that we see from that's been pasted or copied from John Williams' Facebook page seems to be a fairly generic reply. So they've inquired about the sponsorships, and World Archery have replied, and this is the package which they are offering. But they also point out that they are using World Archery logos on their websites. They do so in the blogs they use, as well as the catalogs. I'll show the blog, by the way, I didn't really mention before. Blog spot there. That's what I want. So, if you scroll at the very bottom of the blog, you'll see, I said over here, they're using World Archery logos and branding. So that is definite, okay? So they're using several things here, but you've got the World Archery logo. Why would you do this? You only do this if you are endorsed, if you are part of World Archery's sponsor program. Okay, so you can't use this logo on your website and branding unless you have permission to do so. So this is very clear. This is 2015. The catalog's 2015. So in the previous year, from 2016 to 2015, they know, World Archery knows that LeoLeo is illegally, or without permission, using World Archery branding. That is definitely one way to destroy any working relationship you have with the company. So that is a blatant misuse of copyrighted material and intellectual property. So that's there. It is evident, it is very evident from this wording and the later email that they have not signed a contract. So at no point has World Archery agreed to allow LeoLeo to be an official sponsor. And LeoLeo officially denies ever being an official sponsor. They said it in the really poorly worded post before. So what's the argument here? If LeoLeo is not an official sponsor, why are they using World Archery branding? Okay, there is really no reason to do so. So they've already got themselves on the wrong footing here. And then we see the latest email. So again, this is from John Williams' page. This is directly from him. And this is the recent email covering the ban. So I'm just inferring from the text here. So it seems there's been a previous reply, and this is the other one there. Dear John, this email is already more understandable than the previous one. And I imagine that the previous email, I mean, the other ones may have been really bad Chinglish, which we saw before, so it might have been a better translation. This email is already more understandable. However, familiarities have no place in such email, and I do not think we've ever met in the past. So there's a lot we can infer from this. The news published is very clear, and it follows the countless emails I sent you in the past regarding the use of our pictures and logo without any rights. It also follows an email forged using our email style, and more precisely, my signature. Holy crap! Now, remember, we have the 2016 email, right? So this has been going on for quite a while. It's different. It is the same thread, by the way. You can see sponsorship and donation. So it's been going on for like 2 years here, and this is 2018. So if this is a legitimate email here, and this is very interesting, the signature is, I imagine, the email signature, which is down here. So apparently, we can easily verify that they have been using the pictures and logo without permission. We can see that even right now. They haven't deleted this. The old catalogs, the old blogs, the website's been changed a bit, but they've been using World Archery logos. We confirmed that. And without any rights. This is true. As far as we know, they haven't agreed to a contract of sponsorship, so they can't use World Archery branding. So, and if the allegation is they've been using emails forged using this guy's signature and the World Archery format, that is a really heavy allegation, and this more or less paints John Williams and LeoLeo Archery in the poorest possible light, and this really ends it. A cooperation between LeoLeo and World Archery is at this time impossible. Well, let's drink to that. Okay, it's impossible. All right. So, what did John Williams say? And remember, this is the way emails are structured. I read it back before, but this is the original email. This is the reply, because this is what he sent. I understand how emails work. So John sent this email. This is his most recent reply, not this one. This one. Our lawyers in the United States and Switzerland to handle this incident. Please do not bring market competition and corruption to your work, not to disparage the development of any branded product. Our growth, who is most afraid and whose interests are lost, please show the facts. The law is the most fair. you should be responsible for your job corruption. I have no idea what he's talking about, but it's a bit clearer, and it's making more sense. And I'm imagining that this interaction, this exchange between Thomas Albert and John Williams is full of broken English, and even like Thomas Albert isn't doing perfect English, but it's better, it's more professional. So if John is writing the way he's been writing in those other comments, you can easily see that there is a problem in communication. This particular reply seems a lot cleaner. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's still a lot cleaner. But that is the final thing he posted. And then we have like this generic post here. Hello, I'm John Williams, a US citizen. The same thing as we said before. So, you know, I've made every effort to remind World Archery and do not use commercial means to suppress brands LeoLeo Archery. Same sort of thing. Number 1, number 2, same thing. There's number 3 here, interestingly, which unlike Mike, remember LeoLeo Sporting, who liked this, by the way. Is that LeoLeo? Mike Williams liked it. No surprise there. Happy New Year. And we have the other sponsored archers here, so I'm not going to go too far into detail of the other things. So who's liking this stuff? You're just posting LeoLeo logos. Sponsored shooter and John Will. He liked his own post. Of course he does. What's this? Oh, that's a big number. That is $1 million US dollars reward preparation for pro staff shooter LeoLeo Archery. And we sponsor email these guys. Oh, $1 million. Dude, that's more than what I make. That is, by the way, such a blatant rip-off of the Easton logo. No surprise there. This is just other stuff here. Nothing wrong with this. Nothing wrong with this. Okay. Alright. So, let's go through one more post. The actual response from LeoLeo. So this wasn't there before. There were a few other things which have been posting. I've got Bin Yang here, by the way. See, he's another employee. This is the pushing assistant. Basically, they're all liking the same post. If you go to like who likes these things, there are 4 people. It's these are I know Kira is a sponsored archer. Not sure the other one's there. 3 shares. Who shared it? These 3. Mike, John, and Bin Yang. And Bin Yang is, not surprisingly, a purchasing assistant at LeoLeo Sporting. And it's bizarre. It's normal for a Chinese company to do this. It's so weird to see an American or a Western company do this. The reason why it's weird is it doesn't really make sense, because in a Western society, normally the employees are told not to do this. So any official correspondence is to like the managers or the spokespeople or the executives are the ones who speak on behalf of the company. The individual employees don't act on their own volition and share these things. All right. For example, if you work for I don't know, McDonald's, are you going to like McDonald's posts and share McDonald's posts and giveaways? So it doesn't make any sense. You work there. You aren't gonna like speak on behalf of McDonald's and share all their posts. So working for LeoLeo, you have like 3 or 4 people who are doing the same thing. Like they have jobs in the company, and they're all just spamming out LeoLeo stuff. This is a typical traffic grab. A lot of small companies try to like get more rankings and search results and appear in recommended lists and sponsored spots on Facebook by just spamming out like more popularity. So all the employees, all like 5 of them, will be doing this, which is to your Western mindset is fairly desperate. Okay, it means you're a try hard. It means you're really not legitimate. You're trying to be underhanded in inflating your popularity. In Asian circles, this is more normal. I say this because this is culturally, you know, we tend to just like zerg things. We just swarm in, and we have no qualms about just getting people to like vote for me or like lie about things and so on. I'm not saying this is what's happening, but this is fairly typical behavior. But let's go through LeoLeo's statement. This has been Yang. Go through LeoLeo's statement. So, It starts with a very awkward copy-paste. Event review, and it's a photo, I imagine, of the Bhutanese national team. So Bhutan national team joined 2017 World Archery Championships, sponsored. And there's some weird paste. This is a very bad copy-paste. But LeoLeo Archery did sponsor the Bhutanese national team. So there were 5 Bhutan archers that were wearing shirts, and they had the LeoLeo brand sponsorship. So that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But they were sponsored. Another mention, but 2016, LeoLeo talked to Mr. Thomas Orbit, marketing service coordinator. What you do? This is copy and pasted, by the way. Like you would never, you would never type this out in capital letters. This is obviously copied, word for word, like just highlighted and copied from the email, including this. So today, World Archery only depends on its own imagination. Without any legal facts, it suppressed our brand. Filth. This is probably a lot harsher in Chinese than this. Who indeed control archery industry monopoly, industry corruption? LeoLeo is a military carbon fiber manufacturer providing arrow shafts and components, custom production services, high quality products, better price, good business reputation, and professional services. There are many customers from all over the world. Also, LeoLeo Sporting Goods focus on archery distributor and dealers business. At the same time, there is a listed pharmaceutical company and a local Chinese major real estate company. LeoLeo Sporting Goods have more customers from all over the world. How do we do business? How to do something? Our cooperative customers have the right to speak more, and will further show the customs import and export data and sales information to the public to confirm who is the real counterfeiter, if need soon, who is deceiving the public. LeoLeo could be seen on various social media. LeoLeo brand always sticks to the road of international brands. Some people have seen themselves as the only company with frequent appearances as a Chinese copy. Counterfeiting requires a large sales market and customer base. It does not rely on mouth to say, word of mouth, nor does it rely on handwriting. It requires a detailed industrial manufacturing. LeoLeo, no ability for it. We do not have industrial designers. Our design is outsourced to third parties. Western main social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, and more, are banned in mainland China, so true counterfeiters have no opportunities to release more information to show themselves. LeoLeo brand is located in Hong Kong and the United States, so it is easy to use Facebook, Twitter, and other social platforms. 90% of our archery equipment business is in Europe and the United States. Of course, this will affect the market share with other peer brands. The development has been subjected to various exclusions and market competition for so many years, including encountering industry monopolies. As a brand manufacturer engaged in the import and export, we are disgusted with counterfeiting. However, in China, and in any market in the world, there is no strong market customer network. Even normal import and export business is difficult to manage. At present, various kinds of unfavorable remarks directed against us are constantly expanding in the world's major media. If the case of this fact is not confirmed, we must deal with the incident by requesting the government to assist us in handling an investigation as well as international diplomatic notes, then provide a satisfactory answer to the public and LeoLeo customers. Any main social media and government should objectively report the incident. We've said this before, by the way. I'm not going to bother talking again. The matter itself is very critical. In the end, who controls the world of archery, who is falsifying, who is monopolizing the archery industry? The public should know the truth. Now, the naked public is vilifying it as a crime, and it is not a violation of human rights. In 2016, with regard to Bata Pinnock's event, everyone knows but who the real counterfeiters. At the same time, we help German Bata identify the real counterfeiters. We do not need to ask for any gratitude, but do not deliberately suppress other brand development or developing your own brand. Be an international brand responsible for good conscience. Who is true or false? It is not a document in conclusion. It needs legal basis, and the law is supreme. We hope that every main countries will play an active role in world development, innovate constantly, and safeguard the world's stability and harmony. world sponsorship and donation responsibilities, we have never stopped. We will expand the worldwide sponsorship and donation to individuals, organizations, and countries where they need. Promote the civilization of archery. By the way, they said civilianization last time. They completely changed the word. So that everyone can benefit more from sports health. This is a responsibility and significance for a brand in the world. And there's some... oh, okay. They've included Thomas Albert's email address here. So why would they do this? So they said we've got 3 LeoLeo addresses for information to his email to, as well as Thomas Albert. So they're including him in the mailing list for any public correspondence. And of course you've got other things here which are just Leo, no surprise there. He likes this stuff. You were saying this, right? Of course they like their own stuff and this sponsor shooter. Okay, that's fine. Okay, not worry about that right now. So, I've managed to make sense of about half of that, I think. I've kind of figured out what they're trying to get at, but some interesting things there. What do you think, chap? I'm trying to formulate my final thoughts, but what do you think? It's hard to say what's right. I mean, like I said, it's not a fact in research. I'm just kind of gathering what is publicly available at this point in time. So I'm not getting every single picture. But what do you think? I'm trying to finish my review now. What do you think? I'm just going to chat with them, by the way. I'm just kind of thinking if I missed anything important. I wasn't reading chat before. I was reading the actual documents. Interesting comment about the Hoyt monopolization. I don't think Hoyt's monopolizing. You know, there's a huge market for like products. I mean, Hoyt is a large one. Yes, they do all the things like from hunting to compound to target recurve to accessories and clothing. But other companies do too. If Hoyt was a monopoly, like you see, like just pure Hoyt everywhere. But no, you got a very large, very large branch of equipment. I mean, Hoyt would have like a large stake, but there wouldn't be the majority stake in the market share. Carlos, I'm discovering too much, I know. Yeah, Kevin, like the website is under construction. I haven't been to Wayback Machine, but who knows? Vinton makes a point. What about jerks these are? Yeah, probably. Oh, thanks, Devil. I'll talk about the history of archery. Yeah, no, that's a really good video. I enjoyed making that. Just trying to focus more on the topic here. Ban the naked public. Oh, Sammy. Oh, please. They can't ban the naked public. Max, so just wondering, if an archer is geared from a banned company, but the gear is still legal, would they be able to use it in places like the Olympic Games? So, a couple of things we can think about here. If the archer is using gear from a banned company, now just bear in mind, this is the first time that World Archery has banned a company, as far as I know. Right? So, it's not exactly a precedent we can really follow. And the other thing is that, like, nobody who uses, like, LeoLeo, apart from the sponsored archers, very few, if any, people use LeoLeo. Like, every Olympian, every single Olympian, except for like, you know, like 5 or something in the last Olympic Games, use Easton X10 arrows. The other ones might use Carbon Express or something. Nobody else uses anything else. So like, in terms of arrows, no serious competitive archer uses LeoLeo arrows. So it's kind of like almost a null factor. Like, we haven't, it's a ban. It's almost symbolic because there's no one using their equipment. They don't use bows because they don't make bows. At least the one that we can find. And they just make arrows and knocks and pins. No one's going to check a pin or a knock in the inspection. The shaft's more obvious. But the first part is, well, it's kind of that it's not likely to happen. But the question is, if an archer's gear is from a banned company, but the gear is still legal, and that's I'm not sure what this paradox is. If the archer's gear is from a banned company, the gear would not be legal because, according to the statement from World Archery, any equipment and persons representing LeoLeo Archery are persona non grata. So they are not welcome. They are banned from all World Archery events. So, in that case, they will probably not be able to use it at the Olympic Games. The Olympic Games is more likely to see more people from different countries, because the World Cup and World Championships will have like qualifications. Whereas the Olympic Games, they have more spaces for teams who don't normally compete in many events. So you might see like Bhutan or Nepal in the Olympic Games for archery. So it's more likely you see them there. But that said, they represent a country in the Olympic Games. So they wouldn't have sponsorships on their shirts, nor would they probably use any equipment which is outside of what the team recommends or allows. So, I mean, technically speaking, I do not think you would actually get the ability to use this equipment anyway. So if you turn up to like the World Championships, and let's say I don't know, Brady Ellison wants to troll like World Archery and buy like Leo Archery arrows and brings them in, he probably wouldn't be allowed to use them in the competition based on this ruling. Let's see. So that's my answer to the question there. Vinta, LeoLeo is just a Chinese crap company that got involved in something they weren't prepared for. I've got a feeling that's the case here, right? I mean, my opinion for this matter is that it's whether or not there is a legitimate case for any kind of like corruption. The people behind LeoLeo are looking like dicks right now. The way they're threatening the companies, the way they're just posting gibberish and Chinglish in public, the way the company is just like trying to inflate themselves, it does not make them look in the right ground. And a lot of people like really hate like like monopolies and corporations and big companies and all that. You have like Big Archery as the scary company to take all of the small businesses. You can't get any public support if you do this. It's the sort of thing where, like, it's a schoolyard thing. You have your clique. You say, "Oh, I'm being bullied by World Archery. Hey, friends, help me out." It's a typical thing. This is such a cultural like clash, and are they actually serious about pursuing a legal recourse? Are they actually going to do this? I feel like it's an empty threat. I can't see how they can seriously consider they've got a legal case. Because if anything, everything's against them. They've been using like copyrighted branding illegally, like without permission. They have the emails which they shared, which clearly state that that these people are not partners. They haven't accepted a partnership, and even inferring from the limited screenshots which you'd normally take to hide things and to like misrepresent the truth. These small screenshots are showing a lot about the communication. So that is just, I don't know, I can't see how they have a chance at even, like, assembling a case. Morton, will the ban trickle down to club level? No, it won't. World Archery has no jurisdiction on what clubs do. World Archery has no jurisdiction beyond what World Archery does. National organizations, and below them, state organizations, regional organizations, they've got more say over what happens at club level. Even so, the clubs are autonomous, right? So, World Archery rulings did not flow on to national organizations. For example, World Archery has a unique format. They've got the 720 ranking round, and they have the match play format. that does not mean every other country, and therefore every club in every country, must use this format. So it's optional. A lot of national events still use their own rounds, for tradition's sake. Many now use a standard 720 ranking round to align with the World Archery events, but that's not a mandated rule. So, another example is camouflage. Okay, so World Archery bans camouflage. We've covered this in several videos. World Archery bans camouflage clothing and material, and accessories. This doesn't mean every country bans camouflage. It's up to the country's rule set and constitution on what is and is not allowed. An example of this, Archery Australia does not ban camouflage bows, whereas World Archery would. So, in this instance, World Archery does not control, and no national organization or state organization in their constitution has any deference to World Archery, and World Archery's constitution does not have any control on this. So every regional, state, national organization started independently, without the overlordship of a higher organization. So it's all about affiliations, alright? So my club is not run by Archery Victoria. We are affiliated with Archery Victoria, but we are our own entity. What we allow and ban is entirely up to us. So if we don't want to shoot a standard round using Victoria or Australia, we don't have to. We can make our own rounds up. If we don't want to shoot a 70-meter 720 round, we want to rank our archers on a 7-meter round, we can do that. But we don't. If we want to compete at state level, we have to use their rules. If we compete at national level, we use their rules. If we compete at international level, we use World Archery rules. It doesn't mean that we are controlled by them. We are affiliated. So whenever we go to their events, that means there is a lot more unification. And basically all clubs follow the same conventions anyway. But again, the question is, if World Archery bans this company, LeoLeo Archery, it doesn't mean I have to ban it at my club. Whoa, that's some good stuff there. Sorry, long answer by the way, but that's a good point to make about World Archery's actual controlling jurisdictions. Martha's got a good commentary on a very, like, he ticks the boxes. You have your checklist of things you must do. You must appeal to religion. You must appeal to your military pride. You must appeal to love your country, and democracy and fairness, something like that. It's so, I don't know, checklisty. It makes sense. Aren't they a multi-area company? Could this archery thing be some kind of brain fart, and they expect support from parent companies? Well, yeah, there is a parent company, like whatever's called Grandview, Pacific, Asia Pacific, whatever. Like that's the parent company. I'm not sure what the relationship is between these smaller companies, but will they be sticking up for them? And Sammy has a good point too, by the way. WA is a private entity. They don't have to follow, there is no process where if World Archery does not want your sponsorship, they don't have to take it. What are you going to do? You can't sue them. Like, it's their choice. They have the contract. They have the decision. It's their prerogative to choose who is going to be sponsored. Okay, easy example. Let's say somehow I have enough money to apply to be a sponsor for World Archery. It should be the other way around, man. They should sponsor me, but yeah. But let's say I sponsor World Archery, right? And I've got enough money for the top package, which means I get naming rights. So instead of calling it the Hyundai World Cup, we'll call it the New World Cup. I've just outdone Hyundai as their main sponsor. But just because I have the money doesn't mean they have to say yes. If they don't like my branding or my name, then they don't have to use me. They don't have to explain why. If they prefer Hyundai because they've got a much better corporate face and a better value set, that's fine. If they want to get me and use my face on like every single like archery event, they don't have to do that. They can say no, and that's why Sam makes a good point here. World Archery can do business in with anyone they want in any way they want, as long as both sides mutually agree. And World Archery has the right to terminate agreements, and that's why sponsors join and leave. And I don't know why Leo Archery is making this huge fuss about we're not sponsoring World Archery. We know that. They said that. But why are you using World Archery branding and writing off World Archery's, publications and, sort of thing, if you are not affiliated to World Archery? And what's kind of really painful here is like you have a lot of young archers. A lot of sponsored archers are young people who don't have money, people who can't afford to go to tournaments. So they're picking on fairly young people to sponsor them, and they're not being transparent. Talking about like big companies and being corrupt, but you have a small company targeting poor countries or young archers and giving them money, which makes them loyal. It's not right. It's not morally right here. I mean, all companies go for young people, but we have a large trusted company that is affiliate, that is proper, that is correct. These things make more sense because there's more people in this stuff. There's more verification. Whereas Leo going after a particular demographic and trying to get them to, they'll say, oh, we sponsor national teams, we sponsor world events. You do, yeah. You sponsor Malaysian event, and you do Indonesia, and you have Bhutan and so on. But this is easy pickings. I mean, it doesn't take much to fund someone from Indonesia, from Bhutan. But using that as the benchmark for how good you are, I don't know. Oh yeah, Byron, you were so right. Yeah, so many clubs will actually want a full 720 qualification. We can barely get one person doing 70 meters, and that's not me, by the way. I can't shoot 70. I can, but not very well. Probably now I could. But yeah, getting people to shooting in general is hard. Imagine doing a knockout format. I mean, our state level, we do a national match play series in Australia, so we do have some presence, but a club can't do it. It doesn't affect us. The question from Max before is, why is camouflage banned in the first place? Okay, a big part of this is the appearance of archery. Now, World Archery is a sporting organization, and sport organizations have to be careful in distancing themselves from military application. And this is, for example, I imagine this is more relevant for guns, for example, right? The International Shooting Sports Federation, the ISSF. I haven't read their rule set, but I'm pretty sure that you cannot get a camouflage gun when shooting air rifle in the ISSF, because you don't want them to confuse military application with sport. Sport and military are different. So having camouflage, either equipment or in clothing, is going to look like a military or a violent pursuit, whereas modern archery has evolved as a sport. In a lot of ways, they've disowned the historical military connection, and people who make it now are kind of saying, "Oh, they shoot like the medieval days," that sort of thing. So it's not really a military application. So a lot of it is perception, and a lot of it is reputation. Believe me, you see people walk around this is very American. I've noticed, by the way, because in America, you have a lot of military idealization. This isn't a bad thing, but understand that in America, a lot of things are normal in America which don't apply anywhere else. And this worship of military service and the uniform it's sacrosanct. You can't touch this. So camouflage is very popular, as a form of normal clothing and equipment. It's not fashionable as well as practical. Not that many other countries will have the same culture. Alright? People in other countries will associate camouflage with military application. There's no idealization. There's no idolization either. So that's why in a lot of places you actually want to avoid this connotation, because in many places it means violence, it means killing, and people don't like that. Now I'm not trying to be an SJW and say this is really, really bad, but what I'm saying is that this is the reason why it's a blanket ban, because in some countries perhaps wearing camouflage is not allowed. So rather than have separate rules for every country, World Archery has a no camouflage in general. And some national sporting associations will have a no camouflage rule for the same reason. Because its perception is very important. It's meant to be a family-friendly sport. And when someone's bringing equipment and clothing, which is more reminiscent of a military background, that may make some people uncomfortable in a sporting environment. I'm not saying this is right or wrong, I'm saying this is why it's done. Camouflage has a lot of applications in hunting, for example, or field, and just really nice clothing in general. It's very practical and rugged and built for like outdoor usage. But again, it just doesn't mean that in a sporting context that's relevant. Now, again, clubs don't have to follow these rules. If clubs want to allow jeans and camouflage, that's their prerogative. But if you shoot at a higher level, you must follow their rules. And World Archery has a general ban on any camouflage accessory. You can't have camouflage like arrows or bows or like, you know, straps on your whatever. You can't do that. That's a World Archery thing. And people misunderstand. They think, oh, I can't wear camouflage at my club. That is not true. Unless your club has a rule saying you can't do that, you can wear camouflage. But you can't wear camouflage if you compete at the Olympic Games. And that makes sense. Like, would it feel right? I'm not saying if it is right. Would it feel right to see people doing the Olympic Games in combat fatigues? It just doesn't look quite right. And even wearing camouflage on your uniform, for a lot of people, it's insulting. Not just to like the people who want to be pacifists, but for the armed servicemen and women. Like, people who wear camouflage have some kind of claim. And recently I've been watching a lot of Stolen Valor videos, and it just the way people want this credence is strange to me. I'm getting off topic, by the way, but it's kind of like talking about they don't have any authority over lower levels. So Christopher DeQuonia. There are a lot of cheap, famous branded products in Chinese sites like AliExpress. Taobao is another one too. Do you think that legal case could be an open precedent for the investigation of that items? I'm going to say at the moment no. Because, once again, like World Archery does have an objective. They do have an agenda. If they don't stand up to support companies which are legitimate, and they don't support the ATA, then World Archery will have less sponsorship. They need support from the major companies. So they have to do this. They have to chase these things up. But at what point does a sporting body lose authority in the commercial sector? Because World Archery is not a commercial entity. It is a sport organization. So they can't monitor what companies do. Okay, it's not like you have like NASCAR, where they issue the rules, and any team that wants to be part of NASCAR must follow these rules. It doesn't work that way. World Archery does not control the equipment used. They have rules that say what can be used, but they can't control what people make unless it breaks their rules. So I do not think that they will chase down other Chinese manufacturers who are accused of counterfeiting. The reason why I think LeoLeo has stuck out is because they've been misusing the World Archery brand, and also, as we saw before, possible impersonation of World Archery staff, and that is probably what triggered them to be really aggressive with LeoLeo. I've been following some of the War Thunder stuff, but I'm not doing it right now. So when it's released, I'll talk about that later. Yeah, Yes, respect my authority. Yeah, that's basically the full extent of wood archery authority. Yeah, now I think Marcus has the point to make there. It's not about counterfeiting brands. That is a problem, but it's a problem that can be dealt in a different form, in a different avenue. All right, it's more about WA's sponsorship and promotion. There are numerous factors, and the fact that I understand that LeoLeo has been using WA's branding inappropriately, stacks on top of counterfeiting. It's basically a very easy way to say, look, blacklist LeoLeo. They have messed up on every front here. If a company is counterfeiting, but they're not trying to pass off as official World Archery sponsors, would that be as big a problem? Okay, because sure they're pirating or they're stealing or they're counterfeiting, but they're also not pissing off the World Archery organization. So that's probably why it's not going to be as big a problem, as far as I know. Okay, this is just my predictions here. Not saying this is what's going to happen. But yeah, I agree with Marcus on that note. Okay. It's 12:30 here, by the way. It's a work day, so I'll end the stream here. But yeah, that's that is the update at the moment. Now, there's probably more things happen since I started the stream. There's probably some like update and more posting or something. Well, I'll do a quick refresh of everything, just in case I've missed anything from the last hour. Because this is like, again, it's happening right now. There are a lot of things which we can see unfold as we go along. Nothing new on Reddit here. Oh, a post on Reddit. What's this? A YouTube video. Sure Shot's covering this. Okay, so I haven't seen Sure Shot Archery's videos. You might want to watch that. I don't have the factual evidence here. So we've got a link from to Sure Shot. He's covering it. What else do we have? I'm trying to find all the other sorts. Do I have more stuff on LeoLeo? I'm just gonna go back to my previous stuff. Oh, did they delete the post? Did they delete the post I just linked to? Oh, what happened here? I can't seem to find the post I linked to. I'm going to my own thread on the archery subreddit. So everything would change very quickly, right? So let's have a look at their post. Did they delete it? No, it's still there. No, I was looking at a different post. Never mind. False alert there. Something was deleted, but it wasn't the one I linked to. But what did they delete? Because I used my history to find the last post from LeoLeo, but it's gone. Did I miss something? Was there a statement which they made on their website? And I think it's gone. Which one was it? Oh, it might have been the placeholder which they used before. Yeah, okay. So there was an initial knee-jerk reaction which they posted on their Facebook page, but you can't see right now. It's deleted. It was a very badly whittled. If you see my previous stream, you'll see that post. That's been deleted now. That's gone. So the current one standing, the one I covered in this stream. I have Ramuna in yeah, no, we import it. Byron's correct, I think. WA does not have any issue and say with patent infringement. It's not their concern. WA is more concerned with the running of their events and the promotion of the sport as a whole. Now, there is an overlap in whether promotion of the sport also means supporting the major sponsors. Apart from that, though, morally, WA is not the watchdog of manufacturing of archery equipment. Johnson point, like, LeoLeo, WA doesn't want LeoLeo to get free advertisement from the events because they aren't in sponsorship program. Well, that's true, and that's full legitimate. But yeah, now if look, John is right in a sense where if LeoLeo did in fact purchase the sponsorship package, this probably wouldn't be a problem. Because that means LeoLeo would basically have to donate to World Archery, donate to all the foundations and all the sponsorship programs. So they would be in their good books. But if World Archery knows that there is kind of thing happening, they wouldn't accept LeoLeo. Bita and LeoLeo can't be in the same room together. Alright, I will end it there, by the way. So it's 12:40 right now. That's the latest news. So I can't see anything else that's happening right now. People are covering this left, right, and center. So hopefully, we get some more facts coming out there. We may find more things happening soon. So as soon as we find more developments in the saga, we will update. Okay. I will be planning to do a form check video at some point. I've got several videos lined up to actually film, including a special feature. Well, I'm featuring on someone else's channel, but that's I've got to find time to do that. But anyway, let's pause the stream here. It's been a long stream. And we've covered as much as we can with what we can find, apparently. So hopefully this is interesting to you. Again, it's interesting to see the amount of drama happening, especially on Leo's side. You're seeing someone melt down. It's not looking good for them. But anyway, this is NUSensei. Thank you for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you all next time. Roll outro music. Da 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 da.